So the Terminator in Mortal Kombat 11 has the fucking worst Arnold Schwarzenegger stand-in I think I've ever heard, and it's really upsetting.
Like the voice?
Yes.
How
And
do you
he's
do a
also
bad one?
he looks lame as fuck too. They're like, oh, you put Terminator in a fighting game and you made him the most boring thing possible.
They made him old Arnold, yeah.
Well, he's got a couple skins, but also he's just like, hey, remember Jason from Mortal Kombat X? He's slower and doesn't have a machete.
Oh. He has a shotgun.
Yeah, but like it's in a fighting game, you're like, hey, it's like when Negan shows up in Tekken, you're like, okay, well, I mean, everyone else has cool moves and projectiles, but you have a gun. Like
with the little bit I heard of the Arnold impersonator's voice, like there was once or twice I'm like, I could believe that's old Arnold, and other times I'm like, oh no, Steve, what are you doing?
It's really, really fucking bad. Before we get that ball rolling, hi everybody, I'm Connor McGraw, and welcome to this the After Dark edition of Phantom Zone. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about tonight. We have a few bullet points we're gonna hit, but otherwise it's gonna be just us kind of shooting the shit for a little while. So who else is here?
Arlen Haro signing on.
Erik Jurczyk taking his rightful place as the third chair on this show. Hunter, I'm the one who made you sick.
Hunter's head
I'm the one
and
who made you sick.
Yeah, you absorbed his energy.
I infected him.
Yep. And I guess I'm fourth mic today, Lou Gonzalez.
Yeah. All right, and on that note, you would be terminated is basically how he sounds.
Oh.
It's fucking bad.
They didn't even hire an Austrian, which would be like half a step.
Yeah. Well, also
they just
like
not afford him.
Everything else around the character outside of his appearance is knockoff. Like they don't have the theme, they don't have the voice, and it just feels like you rented a Terminator. Like,
well, are there rights? Is it one of those things where the rights are really wonky?
Well, Warner Brothers got properties, got the rights for fucking Predator, Alien, Jason, Freddy, Leatherface, and a bunch of other shit. And all that stuff felt very, very, sincere and genuine.
Well,
and then you get to this, and as soon as he opens his mouth, you're like, fuck, the illusion's ruined.
The only one of those things that talks is Freddy.
Leatherface kind of like vocalizes.
Yeah, but he doesn't talk in the movie.
But it's mostly like.
But who owns the rights to Terminator?
Good fucking question.
I believe
I'll look it up.
Jim. I believe he got the rights.
Cameron
back.
does. Okay. Yeah, because isn't like I can't even pronounce correctly. Calico or something. I
think it was Halcyon got him for a while, and but the problem is every time a new Terminator movie gets made now, it's under a different studio and a different owner, because those rights just bounce from place to place to place, which would explain
why
Evil
Dead situation
from Terminator 3 to Salvation to Genesis to this. It's like none of these movies look the same, feel the same, have the same aesthetics or quality levels, like.
Well, they do. There are certain things that they do all share, such as plot points and concepts and ideas.
Oh my god, there's some things.
Okay, so
it says a lot. It says a lot when Terminator Salvation is the most unique movie of the fucking bunch.
It says Megan Ellison. I don't know who this is.
What the fuck is that?
Oh no, Megan Ellison. She runs Annapurna. Her father is Larry Ellison.
Yes.
Oh, she's all right. Yeah, she's the one who's been like, I don't care. I have the money to invest in things I want to invest in. If I remember correctly. Yeah, I remember reading something.
She picked up the rights last a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are worse hands it could be in. And I'd like to correct you, Connor. Earlier you said Genesis. It's actually Genesis. Thank you.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's
both are incorrect. It's
I would say every time I refer to it in the movie done for chat, I just type it out as Genesis.
Yeah, all both of those things are accurate.
Yeah, when you say Geniasis, though, it sounds like something it's like I can't go. I have Geniasis. Like
contact your doctor if you have Geniasis.
I came down with Geniasis. Like I can't do it.
It sounds like something that's...
What's Geniasis? I can't explain it now. It would take 10 minutes and 2 cutaways to 2 people talking about timelines in a truck.
It's something you need a penicillin shot for.
Yeah. I need some antibiotics. I have Geniasis.
What would also be like 5 minutes of the commercial would just be if you have ganiasis, these are some of the side effects with the cure.
Incoherent rambling, useless nostalgia.
But bad impressions of Austrian men.
Yeah, actually, and going back to that, one of his fatalities is fucking awesome, and the other one is the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen come out of a Mortal Kombat game. It's
the
so
awesome one is
lame.
Does he drive a car into somebody after walking away?
No, the amazing one is that he shoots your legs off with a shotgun, summons a time sphere around you, sends you to the future where Terminators murder you.
Yes.
Shit.
It's awesome.
Yeah. They like ion blast you in the chest.
And the second one, he tail whips you the motorcycle and shoots you with a shotgun, and you just explode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was real bored with that one.
That's honestly hot take on Mortal Kombat 11. Now that I've had some time with it, I am, for the first time in a long time, thoroughly unimpressed with the fatalities. And I think it's maybe it's 11 games of like how many different ways can you make a person explode? But also they don't have any they don't have any personality to them anymore. Like watching Ermac pull someone's guts out of their mouth with telepathy is the grossest things I've ever seen.
Well, I think that's the problem. Is like they had to like get so gory that eventually it's like, well, what do you do now? Like, how many times can you cut someone's head off? Like, how many different ways is there to cut it off?
Now it's like you don't just cut someone's head off. You cut someone's head off, and then you cut it in half, and then you cut it in fours, and then you burn the fours. Like,
right.
And then you hit it, and an eyeball comes flying towards the camera.
Yeah, but in this game, it's like how many different people pull off someone's skin? Like I think like half of them do, or like they hit you, and then you just like your arms fly off. Like Shao Kahn's fatalities are both he hits you with a hammer, and your head goes somewhere.
Right.
My whole go ahead, Lou.
No, I was just saying, like, if you're in a fight, why would you even do some of the fatalities that they do? It's like you're doing a lot of extra effort.
Someone at work brought that up. He's like, once you've cut someone in half, why would you then cut their head off?
You know,
because it's fun.
It would be. I honestly don't understand. Like, why wouldn't they bring back all the goofy stuff from Mortal Kombat 3, like babalities and stuff like that, just to like change it up?
Like animalities could be really cool
that's kind of why I like brutalities now, because they're interesting, and if you don't count on doing one and you pull it off by surprise, it is genuinely shocking every time. Like I just discovered one not that long ago where like I can't remember what it was, but I think it was the first time I did Sub-Zero's where one of his throws is he throws you into a sheet of ice, but if you do the brutality, he throws you into a sheet of ice and then lobs an axe at your head and chops your head off. But it's all one motion, yeah.
There's another one because he has that move where he freezes the ceiling or the air above you and throws you into it. Yeah, there's a brutality where he throws you up, but there's spikes in it. So you get impaled on that, which I thought was pretty creative. But I gotta admit, I fell off of Mortal Kombat 11 real quick. Like,
the grinding is not fun. The Towers of Time are not fun. And after digesting it, the story is bad.
Like, I thought I wanted Injustice, like, customization for the Mortal Kombat characters.
And it's not even that. It's like it's a half-ass version of it.
Yeah, it is. It is. It doesn't feel as rewarding, and maybe it's because I'm not as in love with the MK characters as I am with DC. But I don't know. Just there was something that was missing with this one.
I think they don't want to just replicate the Injustice stuff and slap it onto Mortal Kombat. But at this point, it's like you've been doing this since Mortal Kombat vs. DC. Like you very clearly had a roadmap with that game. You've been following it. I don't know why you just wouldn't.
Yeah. But again, like they could do some more. Like I feel like they've painted themselves into a corner with like the violence aspect of the Mortal Kombat fatalities. Like, why not do the friendships or the babalities or any of the other stuff? Like, do something else to just freshen it up.
Well, this game also feels like Warner Brothers got involved really fucking heavily, and I think fucked a lot of stuff up, including the DLC, which is being carted out piece by piece over the course of the next year.
Oh, God.
Fuck off. I paid for that combat pass so I can forget about it by next year.
Oh, so they didn't learn anything from Street Fighter, the last one?
Nope.
Yeah, because the last Mortal Kombat, like, it was within like 6 or 8 months you had everything. If you had to buy that pass.
2 separate passes, I think.
They said, like, I think, because, like, Joker is one of the DLC characters. Like, Joker's not coming out until, like, fucking next May or something like that.
that's
It's
dumb.
it's like every 3 to 4 months a character will be released for that combat pass. It's really fucking stupid.
Whatever. This is the first Mortal Kombat game I haven't actually bought any of the DLC for. Because, like, with Mortal Kombat X and even 9, 9, I bought the gold version or whatever, the one that had everything unlocked. But with X, I was just like, yeah, here's my extra $30. Just give me all that shit then.
Yeah,
But
and I
this
got this one because I really wanted Cary Fukunaga as Shang Tsung, and he is awesome.
Yeah.
But big surprise there, and he references the movie all the time. He's fucking sassy as shit. I think at some point, if you fight Shao Kahn walks up and goes, "You failed me for the last time, sorcerer," and Shang Tsung goes, "In 2,000 years, I failed you exactly twice." And Shao Kahn just goes, "Unacceptable." That is the best part of the game, though, is the little character interactions. They were better last game, though. Like, I think when the Xenomorph walks out, it hisses, and Johnny Cage just goes, "Your head looks like a dildo." and that's it. Oh, no. Am I going in and out?
No.
No, not for me.
Okay.
For me, you were. I was just double checking. Anyways, behind the scenes shit. That's what we're good at.
Video game. So I also I finished Hellblade. Fuck. That is one of the most emotionally taxing video games I've ever played in my whole life. And the ending is incredibly sad but very rewarding. And it's sparse on combat, and like the end of that, the last like 25 minutes of that game is like, here's all the combat. Here's so much combat. I hope you enjoy it. It just beats the shit out of you, and I loved every second of it. And I think I sold someone on work in that game.
I mean, good.
Yeah, I know. More people need to fucking play it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, everybody
half
should download it and give it a try, even if it doesn't sound like your thing. It's worth it.
And it's half off to own right now, and it's available on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, there's no reason not to try it.
I downloaded it and started playing it, but there's just so many other things that I have yet to beat that it's like, all right, I'll get back to you.
The thing with that is, here's the thing with Hellblade, it's probably altogether like 6 to 7 hours. That's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is a very. If you get through it in a couple of days, like couple sessions, it is a very streamlined experience. I think the thing that'll take the longest time for you is the puzzles, but the puzzles are really interesting because it's like perception filters. So you have to look at things from certain angles. There's these little doorways you have to walk through that are based on this god of illusions in that game. And if you walk through a certain direction, nothing changes. But if you turn around and walk through it in the opposite direction, the landscape in front of you will drastically change. Or like something that was destroyed when it be rebuilt, there'll be a bridge up where there wasn't one. There's puzzles where you have to look at things at a certain angle, and suddenly something that looks like it's completely destroyed will rebuild itself. There's stuff hidden in the environment that will give you just like lore dumps and character development. And Arlen said it best: it has a Greek choir. Like,
yeah. And it's a game where it's very rewarding when you learn something, when you feel like you've like learned a skill from the game, which is really weird to say, but like when you feel like you've just like gotten a better understanding of something through like putting the pieces together, and things that you wouldn't think are important or that have anything to do with the gameplay are sometimes extremely important. And when you realize that, it just makes the game so much more fun.
Senua's psychosis is like central to the gameplay because she does hear voices, but you are also the way you're positioned is that you are technically one of the voices or presences in her head, and you're there for the ride. And they essentially communicate to you and Senua about dangers if you're being attacked from behind. If you need to concentrate on something, if you need to look in a certain direction. They also will stress the fuck out of you in certain situations where they just start ganging up on you as the player in a Senua and just start emotionally beating you down. And there's these runes you can go and activate, and you get just Norse mythology lessons from this crazy Irish wild man that Senua knew when she was like a couple years ago, who just waxes on about the fucking Norse guy. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, I think that goes into like the Norse mythology is so interesting because it's so vague.
Yeah,
like, and the way he does it, and the way he does it, like he's talking about, I can't remember at what point, but he's talking about how the ice giants were formed, and at some point he's like, and then the water turned into a cow. Yes, a cow. You didn't see that coming, did you? Like, he stops for a second to drop that extra bit of personality onto this wacky ass story about Norse mythology he's telling you.
Yeah.
I think my biggest thing was like I started playing it and I know what happens in the game. Like I know what the ending is, and I understand like the game is more about the journey, not the actual destination.
That and since I didn't know I was going to be getting a PS4 at any point, and this was also before it was multi-platform, I took a dive and was like, I need to know everything about this fucking game. So I knew the ending, but not everything leading up to it. And Jesus, there was a revelation right before the ending that changes the context of everything and makes a few details of the story way more horrifying.
That's the thing. I think I started playing that right around the time that either I had gotten Far Cry 5 or something that was shoot, bang, bang. And I'm like, now I could be sad or I could go kill a whole bunch of trash in Montana. Right. And I chose to go kill a whole bunch of trash in Montana.
Right. I had the same thing. No, that's right. So I was going to my parents' place for like a week. And when I got there, I had Spider-Man waiting for me. Yeah. It's like Senua Spider-Man. So yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking about Spider-Man now. Thinking about
one of the reasons why it took me so long to get through is when I restarted like 4 times, because that game, as Cosmonaut said in his video review of it, like it's best played like in a short window, or you'll forget your progress, like you'll kind of lose connection to what's going on. And like I started, and then like the universe is like Resident Evil 2, and I was like, oh fuck, god damn it.
Yeah, I don't think I
never
could
get through this.
Like I think I would actually go insane from the game. That's like I would actually like begin to have my own voices, I think, if I tried to play it all in one sitting, just because it's that taxing for me.
And there's a stretch later on that game where there's a long period of that game where there's no combat. It's puzzle solving, but it's a section called the Trials. It's basically all these mental tests that Senno has to go through, and one of them is like my fucking heart was in my throat at some point, because they deprive you of all your senses except for like just a little bit of sight, and you have to go based off of what you hear. Yes, that reaction is very, very genuine, because they just drop you in this section, and the disembodied voice of your departed husband Dillian is like, just follow these sounds, and then you get to a house, and you can't quite see something, but you just hear like slapping flesh and slurping and something gurgling and other god awful and some other god awful noises, and you can see something that just looks like a bunch of legs piled together that just happen to be moving around. It's fucking terrifying. But then like Senua, as if she's speaking through you, goes like, I don't know what that is, but I'm terrified of it. And Dillian goes, okay, well, can you see it? And she goes, no. He goes, then it can't see you. Move around it. I was like, you charming son of a bitch.
Dillian is the best part of the game, by the way. He's the best.
Well, because they really, that game spends a lot of time showing you how the people around Senua were just the biggest piles of trash. Especially her father, who is one of the most villainous people I've ever heard of. Because Senua is, for all intents and purposes, like a paranoid schizophrenic, and Zinbel, her father, is like, you're cursed with darkness, and I'm gonna lock you in this hole for days on end and not let you see anybody else in this village. And then a plague hits their village, and the people in the village blame Senua's mental illness for the plague hitting them in the first place. Like they're like, oh, it's her fault, because because it's ancient
That's
Ireland.
how it works. That's how it worked up until like the witch. Up until then, and a little bit after.
Let's be honest. It's not her mental illness. It's because she's a woman.
I mean,
which never comes up, and that is something I like about the game, is that it's never about her gender, because she's she's one able to emulate Dillian, who's this like fierce combatant. And their relationship starts because he sees her one day and he's like, "You picked all that up from watching me?" She's like, "Yeah, I have to go now. Bye." He's like, No, wait, you're awesome.
I mean, on that note, what I love is that she never does like Black Widow fucking wrestling moves or what the fuck ever.
No,
like she never strangles somebody with her fucking vagina. She just like she does very practical moves that a person could learn from watching somebody else.
Yeah, and she's really her strength is that if she's motivated enough, she'll just beat the shit out of you.
Well, I could be incorrect here, and Lou, I know you have some background in history, but I feel like with like Norse and Scandinavian, I guess, culture back then, like it wasn't really a matter of gender had a huge role. Like if you were a fighter,
we talked about it in the chat a little bit, but I guess now it's a good place to turn it up. But like, the village she's from is in a place called Orkney off the coast of Scotland. And the Romans were petrified of these fucking people. So they built a wall that runs across Europe to keep this one village in Scotland away from them.
Yeah.
Like
the northernmost part of Europe.
They built this fucking wall to keep these villagers out. They were called the Pictish barbarians. So their whole like they were kind of like a little like almost like a miniature Sparta. Like they're very, very battle hardened people. But then according to like when the Vikings landed there, the Pictish population just fucking evaporated. And it's it's considered that when the Vikings got there, they destroyed these people.
One of the
it's also assimilation and the two cultures sort of became one over time.
There's that because the Vikings, that was like part of their culture, but also they were also like very technically advanced for their time period. That's how they, like, people probably don't know, like that's how they got to America before anybody else.
And I guess what they would do is also because they would sacrifice like the strongest, like the chieftains and strong warriors, they would sacrifice them in ritualistically. So like even if you spared the whole village, like you took away their best fighters and their leaders, like these people are doomed.
This is also a period of time where the Varangian Guard is a thing, which is where in order to get experience and become a better fighter, you would go to the eastern edges of the Roman Empire, and you would work as a sellsword, basically. You would guard the emperor sometimes.
Oh man,
what is that terrible move? Like, didn't they do a Clive Owen like shitty King Arthur movie, kind of like this?
Yes,
with Keira Knightley.
Yeah, it's about this.
With Keira Knightley, where there was a controversy about her boobs in the poster.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's that movie, and then there's Centurion and the Eagle. One of which is an accidental sequel to the other. Centurion. And they both take place beyond the wall. The wall, Hadrian's Wall, is the wall that George is drawing from. Your cousin.
Yep.
He stole it directly from Hadrian's Wall. Because it was a place where you would send prisoners and people who have no future, and they would take lifelong oaths to guard that wall against the Picts.
But and it's all relevant to the game because when Senna goes out to the wilds because she convinced herself, she's like, I'm gonna go just basically beat out this illness, and I'm gonna come back and it'll be fine, it'll be gone. Essentially in a spirit quest, when she's gone, the Viking raiders hit her village, and Dillian is the one who's sacrificed. He gets the Blood Eagle treatment, and that is why she essentially breaks. But I think they kill her. I think they kill her father as well, but I'm not sure if we ever find out what happens in Bill. But her mother's fate, I'm not going to detail here because holy fuck, it's dark and it's really important. But yeah, when she comes back, like I think she's pretty much the only person left in her village alive. So her love life and culture were wiped out with these people.
Yeah.
And I found out Druth is the man who speaks to you and gives you these Norse tales, is based on a saint named Findon, who was a Celtic who was captured by the Vikings and basically bargained his own release eventually, and then was recaptured and then escaped again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think and Druth means Druth is a word that means liar or. But he's a very cool character in that game. He's all done with who they just kind of layered on top of the gameplay world, so you get this very surreal looking character pop in and out of reality every now and then.
Yeah, well, it's one of the cool things about Norse mythology is it's so. Well, I started talking about it earlier, but like it's so because it was an oral tradition, unlike Egyptian or Greek or Roman, where everything's somewhat written down. Like there is so little written down of the story. It's very easy to interpret, which is why it's a really good world to play in for books and comics and games.
Yeah.
Which is why like God of War works so well, like the new one. So you had Senua, and I feel like it's is it Too Human was the game that they tried to do it with, but like it's a great world to play in because it is so vague. It has a lot of the same what do you call it? Like what it's trying to tell, like the kind of lessons it's trying to teach with the characters.
Allegories.
There's the allegories, but it's so much more room to play with.
Yeah, and like it's weird because for a game whose character is Celtic, the game leans heavily into the idea of Ragnarok.
Yeah, well, that I think that deals like more with like historically. There's ethnically in like Europe, there's really only like 3 or 4 peoples, depending on like where you're drawing lines.
Yeah. If you want to take a very like bird's eye view at things, like there's like 3 or 4 groups basically.
So you have like the Latins, which would be like Rome and Greece and like the whole Mediterranean area from like Spain, France over. Then you have like the Germanic tribes, which is all like Central Europe. England is like where that then turns into like the Celts, and then you have like Eastern Europe, which is like the Slavic people.
Yeah.
Kind of where everybody comes from.
And there was an interesting thing because once Senua gets to the Northmen's territory, like there's lots of well, first of all, there's a shit ton of corpses. But it seems like some kind of cataclysm has already happened to the Vikings. Like there is some kind of unnamed massacre that happened because like you don't see any signs of like I would say like there's signs of I guess battle and destruction everywhere, but no sign of the actual cause. Like there are busted up Viking ships everywhere, but there's also like tons of people in the ocean.
Yeah, it could be like they were always battling with the Slavic people as well as I'm trying to think here. Like as crazy it was, like the Khans and stuff got all the way to like parts of Western Europe. Like the Mongols and stuff. And then you also had the Huns, which was the Germanic tribes. Like they were kind of, which is why like the Vikings kind of went away. Like Scandinavia things went away fairly early on. Like they didn't last long. The Germanic tribes took over.
The other wrinkle in this with this game, is that so here's the thing. This is kind of it's a mild spoiler. Senua never sees the people who destroy her village. She has no idea what they look like. She has no concept of them. So a lot of what you're seeing is her interpretation of what these people are and what they appear to be. So Senua is not exactly a reliable narrator because she's fucking nuts by the time you pick up and play as her. So a lot of what you're seeing is through her filter of like what she imagines this place to be and what she imagines these people are. But I lost my train of thought. Actually, now I guess we can pivot away from this because there's another meaty topic that we brought up before the chat started, and a certain movie came out yesterday.
Yeah,
we live in a society. I'm sorry, I fucking hate that phrase nowadays.
We live in the king of comedy or Taxi Driver. Oh,
here's before we get into the full discussion, like that phrase used as a pejorative to take down something edgy is so tired and so lame It's like, I get it. You're above this. Shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, the Joker movie's out.
Yeah, and anyone who's going to commit acts of violence around this movie, we're going to do it anyway, regardless of what the movie was about. So everyone, stop bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything without having seen it, but just people I know who have seen it, like, have said, like, yeah, there's some real icky things in here that it seems to be kind of championing, and maybe it's not even intending to champion them, but it is regardless, and that's worrisome to me.
I have also read that in much the same vein as the game we were just talking about goes through someone's perception filter, that Arthur Fleck is an extremely unreliable narrator. And that a lot of what you see happen in that movie may not have even happened. And then it might be the weird, diluted fantasies of a guy who loses touch with reality very fast.
I don't want to spoil anything because I know a few things. So
me too.
It's curious.
I still feel like I'm on the point of, if this was not called the Joker and he did not call himself the Joker, would all this controversy be going on? Like, would this just be like this super artsy film? Yeah, like
this movie.
I feel like, because again, like I don't feel like we needed this, like, as a Joker movie.
Okay,
like,
I agree.
Did we need a movie to try something different with comic books in order for like the grown-ups of the fucking cinema industry, the movie industry, to take this medium seriously and actually acknowledge the fact that you can go some different weird places with it? Yeah. Did it need to come in this package? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, to go to your first point, do we?
I mean, if it, like, here's the thing. People keep calling this a bubble. I don't think it's a bubble. I think it's just here. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Well, I think people call it a bubble because they don't understand the difference between, like, good movies make money, and they like to call things like, oh, it's this genre. It's like, no, you can. There's so many old movies that can be put in the quote unquote like superhero genre. They just they come
also,
from comic books.
Yeah. I said it. I screamed into the fucking heavens when Logan came out. Logan is not a superhero movie. Logan is a comic book character who is put into a Western.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's some of the thing here is that part of me is like, yeah, what you're saying, Lou, is like, was this really necessary? No, but part of me would like to see people take chances with these properties, and that doesn't necessarily have to be what the Joker is, because for all intents and purposes, the Joker is just the king of comedy, just with a light DC slathering on it.
What's the thing? It would be more of a chance to me if it wasn't the Joker and it was name another character.
Well,
it's the easiest character to take a chance on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You think Warner Brothers is gonna do anything other than a Batman character for their first big villain outing? Like, that's their money maker.
Give me Kite Man.
Give me crazy.
Okay,
give me Crazy Quilt. Yeah.
Crazy Quilt. Here's the thing.
Yes,
a Kite Man movie done hyper seriously as this like really sad guy who wishes he was a fucking supervillain is fascinating.
Well, no, they did it. Tom King did.
They did it.
A whole issue.
They did it perfectly.
Yeah, and it's a really good
make
thing.
it like him, Zodiac or Seven.
Yeah. Well, it's him. He's divorced and he has no money and he wants to see his kid, and he's rise through as like a henchman, and then he decides to make his own persona, and it's the fucking dumbest thing ever because he has like
and like. There's a whole like 2-issue stretch in the most recent Batman run during the War of Jokes and Riddles, where it's just told from Kite Man's perspective, and like it's like the opening page is him in a bar and Batman walks in, the place clears out, but Kite Man just sits there and just is still sad. He's like, here comes Batman to beat my fucking ass in.
Yeah, and the whole thing.
And he sits there and just takes it, and like eventually everyone's like, God, that guy's fucking pathetic.
Yeah, because the end of the thing is that basically Batman beats the shit out of everybody but Kite Man, and they're like, why'd you leave him for last? It's like, oh, because he's fucking Kite Man.
It's fucking Kite Man. What am I gonna do to Kite? There's no reason to beat him up. Look at him.
Yeah.
But then at the end of it, like Batman enlists him to not just help him get to the top. Like Batman doesn't just recruit him; Batman recruits him and then has Kite Man build suits for himself, Killer Croc, Catwoman, and like 10 other Batman characters so they can fly across the Gotham City skyline and crash through a fucking window to assault the Riddler and the Joker. I'm like, that's the best ending for this character.
Yeah, because I think they said like he's like some sort of engineer, and he just like those his stories. He cannot get it. Like he's overqualified for like shitty jobs.
Yeah, it's like the universe just shits on him constantly, but he doesn't deserve it at all. And so his recourse is like, I'll just be a supervillain, and everyone's like, yeah, why? You're too nice. Like, yeah,
because he has no discernible skill except for building.
Yeah,
like
he's not tough. He's not scary. He's got none of the qualities to be a supervillain, but he just is one.
Yeah, but like that's amazing. A way more interesting story than.
But I think you have to pop the lid off a little harder with something because you can't just go like. Because here's the thing: if you're DC and after Justice League fails. And after Batman vs Superman fails, and after Suicide Squad fails, you can't go. We've got the fucking antidote. It's a Kite Man movie.
Oh, maybe they should have, because that would have shown like some real chutzpah on their part. Like
some balls.
Yeah. It would have been kind of like, you know what? Fuck you. Like that's kind of what they would have been saying.
This company, but Warner Bros. Had no balls. Like, and I would say even in this instance they don't have any, because Todd Phillips said he spent 2 years convincing them to let him do this movie.
He had to get Martin Scorsese to like sign on as a producer to get this made.
Yeah, he should have called Tom Holland, because he got that shit done in like one phone call.
Yeah. We should definitely talk about him.
Yes, we should.
Oh, we're fucking going to that strapping young man.
Which it's also funny to me that Martin Scorsese was involved in a production role with this.
Yeah, given some of his most recent opinions.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I'm like.
Well, he shares the opinions of all the old Hollywood people.
I was gonna say, like, this story popped up, and I said, "This is how many? What is this? The 10th old head in Hollywood who are like, yeah, superhero movies aren't movies. Excuse me, while my next film goes right to Netflix."
Well, didn't Spielberg say that? And then he was signed on to do a Blackhawks movie for a hot second.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah.
Well, he was also saying like superhero movies are like westerns. I'm sorry, I'll let you get to your point in a minute, Arlen. He was also saying that superhero films are like westerns. They're going to have their time in the sun and disappear.
Yeah, which wasn't. Yeah. I was just gonna say. God, what the fuck was I gonna say? Here's the thing: they all say the same thing, which is that they aren't stories about people or about. He said something about they aren't stories about emotion or something to that effect. They're not human stories.
Well, he's never watched Guardians of the Galaxy,
which is bullshit.
Yeah, I have to call real like heavy BS on that. Like maybe if you're someone who's only seen the Avengers movies, I could understand that point of view. But like, I don't know how you watch the first hour of Winter Soldier and say it's not a human story.
How do you watch the entire Yondu arc play out in Guardians 2 and go, oh yeah, there's no emotion. There's no human stories here. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay. With that, there's a music video-iness to what James Gunn is doing that movie. I could see getting lost there. But there are other Marvel movies where they're very specifically like trying to say something to the audience, and they're trying to get across a certain thing emotionally.
And like you invoked Winter Soldier, and like Winter Soldier is very much leading into like fucking government oversight, and like winning wars before they start is bad. And the government having too much power and like too much, armaments and all kinds of stuff like that. And how, I mean, it's a simple message, but it's something relatable. How like the people who are supposed to
that is a larger theme.
Fucking second.
But the opening of that movie is really like it's meant to sort of give you a sense of what Captain America is trying to bring himself to. Like he's trying to make himself as close to the modern soldier as he possibly can. Yeah. Because that's the best thing he can do. He doesn't have anything else. He doesn't have a family. He doesn't have people that really care about him that are alive that he knows about at the beginning of that movie. So his only family left is the military. And if anybody who knows anybody who is in the military, they consider other soldiers to be their family. They see it that way. They see it as that thick of a bond. So for him, that's the only family he has left. So he's trying to make himself as approachable and relatable to those people as he can by sitting in on their meetings and listening to their problems. And he does a fairly good job of relating to him. That conversation that he has with Sam about the bed, I'm sorry, Marty, you're wrong. You either you saw the wrong movie or somebody did not show you the right movie.
I don't think he saw any of them.
And then with the back half of that movie, it's like the one person that he was the closest to, who he swore was gone, who he watched die, is alive, and he has to fight him.
Yeah.
And another movie I'll throw onto that is Black Panther, where it's like it's a movie built around, and you're just like the whole time once you hear the villain's thing, it's like, oh. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a movie where the lead character, where at the end T'Challa is like, I have to fix your fucking problem, and I have to fix your mess, and it was a mess.
Yeah,
he
thanks,
has to
Dad.
tell his family, you caused this. You're responsible for this. And now I have to try and clean it up.
And it's fucking super relevant because there is a very much. There's a lot of anti-boomer sentiment going on because a lot of younger people looking at the older generation going like, you fucked everything up and you'll accept no responsibility for it. And now like you're going to die and you're going to leave this disaster with us. And we're going to be left with all this resentment towards you because you did nothing to fix it.
Have fun, suckers.
There's the difference between like T'Challa being the wealthy black man compared to his cousin being the like impoverished inner city, like no one did anything, kind of like the stereotypical like grew up without a father thing, like and yet he does nothing. Like that's like, oh, you had everything.
Yeah,
where were you people?
Yeah,
why did you do nothing?
And then when T'Challa finds out like where everyone was, they were just like, oh yeah, we were ignoring the problem, it's fine, it'll go away.
Yeah, but it's not even like just like, oh, what his dad is. It's like, it's like none of the Wakandans ever did anything.
Yeah.
Any other, like,
and it's
black skin.
One thing about that is like, if you live in Wakanda, of course you'd be intoxicated by your own developmental growth of as a country. Like, look at that fucking place. You're like, why should I give a shit about the rest of the world? Look at this. Look how good we're doing. This little slice of Africa.
Anyways, yeah. I brought up his quote just because I wanted to be sure. Honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well made as they are, with the actors doing the best they can under the circumstances, is theme parks. It isn't cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional and psychological experiences to another human being. That's false. That's if he had said something else, I could see his point.
He is what the thing is, he's not talking about anything that's made in the last 15 years. He is talking about the Tim Burton Batman movies and stuff like that.
Sure. Talking about fucking Daredevil with Ben Affleck, with that fucking but
like, how often do you think Martin Scorsese or any of these like big name writer directors see movies, and especially see quote unquote like popular movies?
I think he watches a movie a day, but I don't think he cares about the mainstream movie going on. And here's the thing. Again, if he was talking about cinema in a different context, if he had said something very highfalutin and he had, it's about, images and, storytelling and blah, blah, whatever, all kinds of buzzwords that are bullshit that people use to try and trick people into thinking they're smart. Because people do that a lot. If he had said any of that, I could maybe understand what he's getting at. And here's the problem. I don't disagree on the theme park thing.
But it's Kino, Arlen. It's Kino. I'm sorry.
Right. These movies, they are theme park rides. Yeah, to some degree they are. I love The Conjuring 2 because it is the biggest, dumbest haunted house movie ever. It is literally, it's a haunted house made into a film, and it's perfect. It's perfect.
That movie is designed
terrifying.
That movie is designed to. It's not like the first movie filled me with some kind of existential dread because of some personal beliefs, but like the second one is like, nah, fuck that shit. I'm going to physically scare the shit out of you.
Yes.
Like when I almost fell out of my fucking chair in The Conjuring 2 when the nun grabs the painting and runs at Vera Farmiga. Okay, I was not prepared for that. I was angry at the screen for a couple seconds because I was like, "Don't you fucking do that to me!"
Yeah, like when she's on the fucking ceiling and she's seeing this old man like go into the fucking room and the crosses and the fucking oh god, and then there's so much in that movie that's just like unnerving as fuck, and I can't watch it in one sitting. I have to like pause it occasionally and get up.
Something else about this
go do other things.
Something else about this quote and like other quotes like this that bother me is like, I don't care how many fucking legendary films that you have made or how many, Oscars or awards or any kind of credentials you've gotten from the industry. No one on this earth has any right to tell anyone else what is or is not, quote unquote, film, cinema, movie, art, whatever the fuck. The art form is completely subjective. Don't sit here and give me with that shit.
I'd like to talk to you about a director named Uwe Boll.
Here's the problem.
I would like to talk about a movie called Jack and Jill.
God damn it. Here's the thing. So this is a problem that is just it's happening in culture in general right now. Is film is a language. And like every language, it is always constantly evolving. There's a video series from this linguist who breaks down accents. It's probably very popular. I think most people probably at least heard of it. It's from Wired, and where he goes in all these things. And he was doing this video recently where he was just talking about where accents come from and how the English language has evolved over time. And he said this thing that I thought was really poignant. No given period of time's version of English is worse than another period of time's version of English. It's just different. It's just not the same as it was then. It is a evolution of something that came before, but it is not inherently more valuable than that other version. It may be more valuable in the modern era to the people who are using it to be able to communicate the same way, but it is not, intrinsically better necessarily, and that's how language is. So if we take that definition and we apply it to cinema, it means cinema is always changing. So what cinema was when New Hollywood came into the scene, it's different from what cinema is now. Cinema has, I would say, a wider definition. What is cinema is changing. When Game of Thrones, as much of as that became, it redefined things. It changed the lines between cinema and television, and those lines are getting blurrier and blurrier to the point where I would say the best horror movie of last year is The Haunting of House.
Yes. And I was gonna say that like Netflix and streaming services changed that game as well.
Yeah,
because as much as I love movies, there are many stories I'd rather have play out over what would have been considered a miniseries, which is now what Netflix and Amazon and Hulu do.
Yeah.
Which is why I found like when Steven Spielberg was like, "No, that's a TV movie." It doesn't matter. The word
TV. Here's the thing. Like, what's like now, especially when I heard the budgets for some of these Disney Plus shows are going to be like $150 million a piece. It's like, dude, what's the fucking difference now?
Yeah.
Oh, what about when Amazon
puts out? It's not going to matter.
Amazon puts out their Lord of the Rings. What is that?
Twin Peaks is an 18-hour film.
In Spielberg's defense, I think when he said TV movie, he was definitely talking about like the 80s and 90s TV movies.
Well, he's not the only one.
Well, no, he's specifically he has been one of the people who's been vocal against allowing stuff that debuts on Netflix to be considered for any kind of Academy Award.
That's garbage. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stuff on Netflix that should never ever be watched by the Academy, and it should
Yeah,
be
like
burned.
like
But-
Tall Girl.
The 100 Davenport story.
Oh my god, I have watched Cosmonauts video on that movie like 5 times because I'm having trouble accepting the fact that movie's real.
Oh god.
But yeah, it is definitely old man yelling at clouds a lot recently, and I think it's because there's such seismic changes happening within the world of cinema.
It's weird that David Lynch seems to be the most sane.
Well, I think
and
if you're insane long enough, then the rest of the world catches up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think one of the best like instances of David Lynch being just the most David Lynchian he can be is his conversation of it being asked to direct Return of the Jedi, where he says like, and then he starts showing me this stuff called a Wookiee, and then I just start getting this really bad headache. Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Didn't Cameron talk shit about comic book movies? A guy
He
who was
did.
going to direct one, and
Well,
He did, and then as soon as Endgame surpassed Avatar, he was like, "Oh, congratulations, and you guys are great."
he also
blah, blah, blah.
fucking opened his mouth about Wonder Woman and said shit about that, where he was, I can't remember what he said, but it was something along the lines of like,
it wasn't feminist in the right way to him or whatever. Something.
Yes, because someone with testicles has the right to talk about
someone
that.
who cheated on his wife has the right to talk about what is feminist.
Wives.
Wives. I'm sorry, wives. Someone who made a career out of making Kate Winslet's life a living hell by physically demeaning her for an entire year has no right to tell anyone what is or isn't feminist. You fucking pig.
Yeah.
I hate James Cameron.
Yeah. Anyways, that's segue with a meme that I'm about to put into the thing real quick.
Yes, a visual format for an audio show. Yes.
Fine, I'll save myself. It's a picture of Tom Holland holding the fucking Infinity Gauntlet, and they just slash his head over Thanos' head.
There's no.
It's very good.
We should get back to Joker at some point because we didn't talk about it too much, but let's get into this because this is too much not to go into right away. So Jimmy Kimmel confirmed this, did he not?
I think so.
No, Iger confirmed it.
Oh, Iger did?
Yeah.
Yes, that's who confirmed it.
Oh my god!
He has a book coming out, so he's been pumping it.
He's been spilling a lot of tea recently. Yeah.
Well, he's retired in a year, so he don't give no fucks.
Yep.
So Tom Holland at D23, I guess, was really upset with the state of the Sony Spider-Man deal with Disney, and was like running around going, "Hey, do you have Bob's number?"
People are like, "Hey, child spider, we can't give you that."
Yeah, we're like, "Oh, you're adorable." But no. But then, like, he talked,
no,
like,
they didn't say who. So what basically happened is he's selling this to everybody at D23, and someone eventually who has Iger's number calls Iger and is like, "Yeah, Tom Holland's like asking for your number," and Iger's like, "Give it to him and let him call me." And then and they're like, "Okay," and he calls him, and they have a conversation, and basically Holland is like, "Yeah, this is really upsetting. I don't really like this. There's a ton of fan backlash. This is ridiculous. We need to fix this. Like, something has to happen. I don't want to leave the MCU." And Iger's like, "Wow, like this is so much passion I've ever had before." And then like they get off the phone, and he immediately calls the CEO of Sony and is like, "All right, we need to fix this."
Yeah.
Here's the thing. In like 2 weeks, we went from discussing how, like, who gives a shit about the fucking whims of two mega corporations who are throwing billions of dollars at each other. And then this 22-year-old British kid is like, "Hey, I'm really sad." And they're just like, "All right, we got to figure it out." Like,
as it should be.
Yeah. So you were right. Iger was on Kimmel when he talked about it.
Okay. I heard his name get brought up during this. And I guess that's how the renegotiating started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is it? Like it's 75-25 now or something along those lines? Yeah.
Which leads to the part of the story that kind of pissed me off the most. So they negotiated about this stuff for months, and basically Disney came at them with 50%, and then Sony said nothing, so they came at them with 25%. And then Sony said nothing for months.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, they said nothing. They didn't react at all to 25%.
Okay,
they weren't even.
We all know what Sony was doing there then.
Yeah. They were putting their heels down, and they were just like, no, until their movie came out, and they announced that they were separating.
I still maintain that they were waiting to see how Spider-Man was going to do. Because if it was projected to do poorly, then they would have come back to the negotiating table right away. But it was projecting to do a lot of money because it's a follow-up to Endgame, and people like Tom Holland, even though some people in some comic groups call him a cuck. But anyways,
whatever.
That doesn't even make any sense.
No.
I feel like I've said this a million times. I don't understand. I don't understand ever leaving this deal in the first place. And I don't understand leaving money on the table. And Eric, you said this, and you're right to say this. There are things that may not have been announced yet. But still, if they say 25%, why don't you say, let's do 20%, and we want 2 other characters who are established in the MCU in every Spider-Man movie going forward.
And
or we want
Venom.
Exactly. We want somebody from Spider-Man's oeuvre to be in the MCU now.
Yeah.
And I think because since there have been rumors for a minute that Disney is planning on fast tracking Daredevil's return in an MCU movie, and everyone's like, "Oh, fucking Spider-Man."
Yeah. It's a perfect place to do it. Yeah.
Especially if he can be like a mentor-ish character.
Well, there's also been rumors on rumors that Deadpool is going to show up in a fucking Spider-Man movie.
I think that's been killed. Sense. I think that got killed though. Because Reynolds is only signed on to do like one more thing.
Wait, who?
Ryan Reynolds is only signed on to do like one more movie.
Yeah, I mean, for the time being, we don't know also what, because I think it was said when the Fox acquisition happened, I think it was Bob Iger or something said oh yeah, Deadpool will continue to be a part of this going forward.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of contracts going forward, that was something I'd seen in all the articles about Sony and Marvel finally playing fair with each other. Was that this is only for one more Spider-Man MCU movie
and one crossover. That's it.
I heard 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 movies, 1 solo, 1 crossover. It's basically a continuation of the deal, as opposed to it's not a new deal.
Okay, so they'll come back to look at it again later on and probably do all this bullshit again. All right.
I mean, probably.
Unless Paramount buys out Sony somehow.
Which would be a weird way for it to go, considering this is that the MCU technically started at Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount still owns the solo rights to Hulk.
Yeah.
Now, Universal does.
No,
Universal,
I thought Universal has Namor. I thought
this actually came right from Mark Ruffalo not that long ago. He was on the red carpet doing an interview, and he rolled a steamroller over Universal. He flat said he's like, there will never be a solo Hulk movie. He said because for some reason Universal Studios doesn't want to play nice with Marvel and Disney, and he's like, and I don't understand it. I think it's stupid.
Yeah,
because they have Namor. Okay, so they have Namor and Hulk. I thought Paramount had somebody else.
No,
I guess they don't have anybody.
They had the Avengers, actually, because that's why there was a whole bunch of kerfuffle about when Avengers came out, that there's a Paramount logo in the beginning, and they shared the profits on that, if I remember correctly.
Was that because of Iron Man, though, or the Avengers?
Yes. Iron Man.
Okay.
They had a distribution deal with Paramount for X number of movies, and Disney had to buy them out at some point.
Because I think the Disney buyout is basically what turned into Marvel Studios.
Well, so Marvel Studios was established already, but Disney bought Marvel. But I'm just talking about the deal. Like basically, it was like a move-in deal or something. It was like a lease. Basically, it's like somebody bought your lease out from under you. Yeah, which is kind of shady, but that's how big businesses do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's how like a lot of like they just bought out their contract. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like Hollywood in general, if they look at something, they go, "Well, I'll buy that." It seems like you can't say no.
Yeah.
I actually just heard a story about. This is gonna be a weird, quick transition, but Troy Duffy and the Boondock Saints. Apparently, Troy Duffy got this movie made because he offered to sell the bar to the studio that he worked at but didn't own, and somehow the studio ended up buying the bar anyway. What?
But why?
I don't know.
I don't care about Boondock Saints.
They couldn't find a director, so Troy Duffy offered to direct, and he was like, "You have to let me direct. I can throw in this bar too." And they were like, "Sold," and it wasn't even his bar. It's really bizarre.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is a movie that I have no intentions of revisiting, and I've never seen the sequel.
Mm.
You know, okay.
I don't think I've seen it since high school.
Back to Joker. Like, you wanna rag on something for being lull too edgy for me? It's the fucking Boondock Saints. Like, that movie is saying nothing to anyone, and is just hyperbolic and insane for no fucking reason. Whereas everything I'm hearing about Joker sounds like there is reason to it. You just may not like the reason.
Boondock Saints is a movie that high school sophomores love.
Yeah. I can attest to that because I loved it when I was 15 years old.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a movie made for 15-year-old boys because they're edgy and tough, and that's what it is.
Yeah, that's
Thankfully,
right.
I was 72 when that movie came out, so I was too bitter at that point.
What are you now, 109?
What?
At least I'm a hunter who would just be way more mean about it, and then we're both like, "Shut up, you long ass bitch," and then he passes out.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Boondock Saints, like I watched 10 minutes of it. I'm like, oh, okay, so you guys really like Quentin Tarantino. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at a person's house late at night, and we started the movie, and like 10 minutes in, I called somebody to come pick me up, so I wouldn't have to finish the movie.
Wait, how long ago was this? Like, what? How old
this
were
was
you?
years ago.
I was gonna say, how old were you? Where you had to call a ride?
I needed a ride. I didn't have a ride.
He was 8, and he wasn't actually supposed to be there. It was somebody he didn't know who promised.
You needed
him
an
a good
adult.
time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was like a
parents were
hangout
really
thing.
sick, and
Right. Yeah, we watched Zardos.
Oh my god! What?
Zardos.
Did everybody just pick a corner in the room and not look at each other and make eye contact?
I mean, that's what you need to do to watch Zardos, and to get to the ending where they reveal what Zardos's name means, which is the best reveal ever. Which is why I won't reveal it on this show, because you need to experience it for yourself.
The GRS.
You need to experience it not through Rick and Morty. You need to actually watch the fucking movie.
Watch it and listen to the 2 episodes of How Did This Get Made?
Yes.
That they did first.
And then go watch the Rick and Morty episode.
Oh god. I am Zardos. You're about to hear my life story.
My favorite part of the How Did This Get Made is when they play the commentary from Gorman.
Oh,
And he's just like, he's like, and this. It's like, there may be too many ideas in this film. You could just fast forward through this part.
I love the Borman went from that to making like the most badass King Arthur movie possibly ever made.
Yes.
It's just like
I love Excalibur.
Well, so good.
I only just discovered Excalibur like properly as an adult like 4 months ago, and still haven't sat down to watch it yet. Dude, it wasn't. God. It was something that was just. Here's the thing. I thought it was a different movie.
Right. Yes. We've discussed this.
Yeah. Funny enough, had Sean Connery in it.
Oh,
and
thought it was
Gawain the Green Knight,
where he's old.
No, it was this. No, it was this weird fucking movie whose name I already forget. Where
Gawain the Green Knight.
Is it where he gets his head cut off?
Yeah,
and
that's what it was.
He's like, Barter, come to me, and then like this weird after he gets his head cut off by this very effeminate looking blonde man. And he's like, "You see, boy, you can't kill me here. Come back later." And then he just fucking leaves.
I'm
in a time flux because we had this exact same conversation.
Yeah, I'm aware of this. I've been dropped on my head. Okay,
that can't be worse than the other one he did, which was was it not first night? What was the one he did with
First
Patrick
Night
Gere?
No, he was in First Night, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Is that First Night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with
Richard Gere and
I don't remember.
Richard Gere made a lot of bad choices.
It's a rom-com version of like Excalibur where Lancelot's the good guy, even though he still bangs Guinevere.
Funny thing about that movie is I've never seen it, but
it's horrible.
Richard Gere, apparently they couldn't train him well enough to do sword fighting for any scenes, so his sword was put in digitally.
Oh my god!
You can see it. You can see it on the back of the box. I remember this on the VHS because my friend.
It's the opposite of Highlander.
You see him just holding a sword hilt. Yes.
Because Highlander, they tried to use real swords and almost killed Christopher Lambert.
Hold on, wait. Well, I'm sorry. What is this movie called? Richard Gere.
First Night. So Sean Connery plays King Arthur. Richard Gere is Lancelot. I think Julia Roberts is Guinevere.
Probably. It sounds
and
right.
It's kind of a rom-com. It's not a rom-com because it's not comedic, but it's like a romanticized version of Lancelot and Guinevere. And it's really bad. And Arthur is like 100 years. Like it's old Sean Connery from the 90s.
Yeah. It's great. It's
I'm
great
trying to
looking at it.
this digital sword, and I can't find anything.
Yes, compared to the awesomeness of Excalibur, where it's Helen Mirren in all of her greatest glory.
Dude, I was watching. I can't remember what it was, like some random video essay on it. And I just got like, I was like, oh, okay, whatever, and just sat through it, and I was like, wow, this looks like it was made very exclusively for me because it has all these like weird like fucking dark ass fantasy aesthetics on top of this King Arthur story, and like it's all practical and dirty and gross and bloody looking. Yeah. Like
it has random amazing actors in it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
They take it.
Isn't it? Isn't Patrick Stewart in it?
Yes,
he is. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who were big much later on.
Gabriel Byrne is in it, and like it's got a bunch of like young starlets who are just smoking hot in that fucking movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to because oh my god, Liam Neeson plays like a major role in the film, like a character in the Arthurian, because it's
he does. He's like Gawain or something, I think.
Yeah, because he's the one that challenges that Guinevere's unfaithful. That is him, and it is because it's supposed to be. It is La Morte de Arthur, like that's the specific story they're doing. But then they get into the whole weirdness with Morgan Le Fay, which is who Helen Mirren plays, and what's the kid's name? They're like incestual son,
Mordred, the bastard son of Arthur,
the bastard incestual son.
Yeah, who's got this badass golden armor, and he's it's so cool.
He looks
that was one of the things that struck me immediately when just looking at that movie. I was like, everyone is in giant, bulky suits of fucking armor, and all the action sequences look just like super messy and hardcore and nasty, and I loved every second of it. And it just looks so, like I said, dirty and gritty and really grounded, but somehow really fucking wacky.
Yeah. It's obviously like a fantasy world, but it feels right for the time that Arthur's supposed to take place in.
Yeah.
Without trying to be too realistic to the time that it. Yeah.
So Gabriel Byrne plays Arthur's father, and Liam Neeson is Gawain, and Patrick Stewart is Leo deGrasse. He's not. Tyson? I'm trying to make. No, it's Leon deGrasse. It's like one word that's super long. Corin Redgrave is in it. I'm trying to look. There's some other.
real quick, back to first night. During the final sword fight, both Lancelot and Maligan's blades were replaced with CGI to ensure safety and allow the actors to swing them faster. When the film arrived on VHS home video, the full-frame pan-scan version of the film showed frames of the film that would be normally cut off by the letterbox aspect ratio. The frames revealed Lancelot standing with just the hilt of a sword.
Which, to go back, like...
That's embarrassing.
Sorry to ruin your momentum. Anyways.
No, I was just to say, like, to go back to like the Zardoz, like Borman made Zardoz because he wanted to make Lord of the Rings, and they said no.
That's crazy.
I think a lot of stuff went into that.
I love what directors do when they're told no, because that's how we got fucking Darkman. Because Sam Raimi's like, yeah, we do Batman. They're like, no. He's like, all right, I'm gonna out crazy you then. Like,
well, Batman and then The Shadow. He was.
Oh God.
Well, fuck you. I'm just gonna take these two great tastes and put them together.
I'm gonna do my own go eat shit.
We're gonna make a homeless mummy movie.
Yeah, that Arlen's gonna ruin the recording of. Yeah. Give me the pink elephant.
Give me the pink elephant.
He has like Borman has the weirdest eye because he goes like Deliverance, Zardoz, Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Oh no!
Wait, no, he did. He's Exorcist 2.
Yes, he directed it, and he did Excalibur 4 years later.
Well, okay,
God,
so
really, Excalibur or not Excalibur 2? Exorcist 2 is that old?
Exorcist 2 is 77.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that.
Here's the thing: I've never seen Exorcist 2. Because its reputation precedes it.
Just get a recording of the actress who played Reagan screaming something, and then stare at a swarm of locusts. There you go. That's just two for
Isn't that the?
I saw that on Sci-Fi Channel. Wait, what was that?
Didn't she like break her back in Exorcist 2 in a stunt?
I remember there being an injury from that movie, but I can't remember what it was.
I thought it was the first one that there was actually a very severe injury.
I know she got hurt in one of them.
Oh, it was the first one. Because whatever device they had rigged to the bed to make her flop up and down, like really fucked her up.
That, and also the mom in Exorcist 1 hurt herself when she got pulled in the one scene where the bureau moves, and she got pulled back by a pulley of some sort, and that ended up hurting her back pretty bad.
Oh my God. Can I, so I'm looking at that trivia. Can I just read like the sixth thing in here?
For Exorcist 2?
Yes.
Please.
Martin Scorsese was one of the few people who liked this film.
Oh
the
my
picture
God.
Asked,
oh, Marty.
Of all the things to tie back to something in this conversation, I didn't think the Exorcist 2 was going to be it.
Jesus Christ!
It was literally it's the trivia right after. On the night of the premiere, the movie was literally laughed off the screen.
Oh my God! Yeah, I had to ask this question, not to go down a different but I don't think it's ever been brought up. But how many of us have seen both The Exorcist: The Beginning and Dominion, a prequel to The Exorcist?
I never actually sat through all of either of them.
Which one is in Africa?
They're both in Africa. They're both essentially the same film
movie, right? Yeah.
They're both okay. So
both?
one was made by Rennie Harlan, and the other was made by who the fuck was it?
Well, I'm looking. I have them both up. The 2005 is Paul Schrader.
Yes, I was gonna say it was Schrader.
Yeah, and the 2000. Oh my God, they're back-to-back years.
Yes. Okay. So. Paul Schrader,
I saw the Rennie Harlan one because that's the one that stars.
That's the movie.
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård's in both movies. Here's what happened.
Wait, what?
Here's what happened. Paul Schrader comes on to make a prequel to The Exorcist. That movie is apparently so fucking bad that they fired him and called in Rennie Harlan. They said, "Do it over, the whole thing. Do the whole movie over." And then they're like, well, we got two movies. So they just released them both.
Yep.
I don't know which one I've seen then.
Well, and one is directed by John Frankenheimer, or was going to, I guess. which that's a bad look for John there.
Well, I thought I had read there was also, and it might just be a fan edit, that they edited both of the films together in a way that actually made them better somehow. They combined their forces.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of overshadowing, I think, and overlapping in certain sequences and like I think certain the way things are filmed. I think because I've only seen all of one. I've only seen the beginnings a few times, and I've only seen bits and pieces of Dominion. And like there are a couple like set pieces you go like, oh, that was shot in the same place just some time later. Like
I never felt a need to watch either version of them because they kind of perfected the movie with or The Exorcist with part 3. Like you just need part 1 and part 3. So
that like I don't know, like, and it's just lots of like Stellan Skarsgård like in a fucking tomb they dug up, and he's like, "Oh no, hyenas are bad."
Yeah, after reading the storylines, I saw the Paul Schrader one, Dominion.
Wow.
And I think I saw it in the theater.
Where?
I just don't know why we ever needed to learn about Father Marin. Like, because I don't think he needed it.
The only distinction I see in the things that makes me think this is what I saw is that one specifically says stuff about World War II, which I remember seeing in the version I saw.
That is minimalized in the Rennie Harlan version. I think he just shows up in Africa and they just allude to World War II.
Yeah, I definitely saw scenes of him as a priest and like a Nazi's like, "Are you going to do something?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not intervening." And the Nazis just start shooting children.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, Arlen, you're right though. Like, I don't think there was a demand to find out about his character.
Yeah. Like, well, I think it wasn't the same problem as the young Hannibal movie.
Oh god,
I forget that exists.
I've never fucking seen.
Here's the thing: the young Hannibal movie. I don't know if that movie needed to be made. Connor, you still haven't seen season 3, have you?
I haven't, because I'm afraid of that. The thing is, it's like it is very much like the Twin Peaks situation, where it's like I don't want that kind of. I don't want the closure. I don't want it to end.
No, here's the thing, though. You could watch the first half and just stop there and still have episodes waiting for you.
Okay.
First half of season 3, they go heavily into stuff from Hannibal Rising. You meet his sort of half sister, and they sort of explore a lot of the stuff from Hannibal Rising, and it's very interesting and very compelling.
Was Hannibal Rising a book before it turned into that movie?
I think it was a simultaneous thing where they were happening sort of around the same time. I think. I'm not positive.
Because he only wrote like 3 or 4 books, right?
I believe so. I mean, I feel like if there were more books, they would have made movies of them, even if Hannibal Rising wasn't as success.
I know it's like Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, and I think there was like only 1 or 2 other ones.
I
mean, yeah, Hannibal also.
Yeah.
No, it was. It's an adaptation of Thomas Harris' 2006 novel of the same name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they were very close. Like they had notes on each other.
He wrote Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, and Hannibal Rising.
Well, I mean, did we need the story of young Alfred as he's hanging around?
I mean,
I literally
think
forgot
it's different depending on like.
I forgot again that that's a TV show.
Like we don't need previous to Once Upon a Time, or not. What is it? Previous to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. We don't need anything further about the Clint Eastwood character from that movie, because that movie is a prequel. We don't need to go back any further for that character. That's not what the character is about. Knowing who he is tells you nothing about the character that the movies don't tell you.
He's the man with no name. That's all you need.
That's all you need. Like, I was mad actually watching A Few Dollars More recently or something where they like put his name in the subtitles. And I was like, why would you do that?
It doesn't matter. Because those are reinterpretations of Akira Kurosawa films.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Like, which is what like all those spaghetti westerns were. But
how is there any movie series that gets better the more backwards in the timeline they go? Like they're just like they're just basically like every sequel is just going to happen before the previous film.
I don't know if that has happened.
Insidious is the only one I can think of. Like where like Insidious is 2 movies that take place back to back, and then the next 2 movies are basically moving backwards in the timeline.
Yeah, I there's something in like the back of my head right now, but I can't think of what it is.
The only thing I can think of, like Fast and Furious, almost counts because
I wouldn't count it. That's like dancing
well, the thing
around.
The reboot is a surprise prequel that they didn't tell anybody about, and then they spend the next
supposed to be. That's the whole thing.
And they spend the next 3 movies still being prequels to part 3, even though technology like cell phones and stuff are still way more advanced than they should be.
Yeah. But that's not like a plan. Like those other movies are them trying to fix a continuity issue.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything. Like there are people who like love Temple of Doom. Like they think it's the best movie ever. Which
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's really all I had to say.
Like that's something you had to get off your chest there, Eric.
Yeah.
Anybody who goes into the fucking Indiana Jones films caring about the continuity or like, well, this one technically took place before that one, can go fuck themselves. Like, I mean, those movies are just supposed to be enjoyed as is. They're serials. Like that's what they are.
Well, sure. Here's like I looked up like prequels. Like what do you count? Like, do we count some of the newer Planet of the Apes, or is it because it's a complete new series?
Yeah, I don't think that would count. They're technically it's a new series. It's a reboot, and it could like they have said before that like they could do a movie where their version of
becomes the other one.
Yeah, where the human character shows up, and they do a version of the original Planet of the Apes, but it would be very different because of what they've already established.
Does X-Men First Class count?
Well, if you go off of the original intention, where that was meant to be a complete reboot, where they just cut ties with the original movies, maybe, but not in the current version. Or like First Class would be the best one there, I would have to say.
Yeah. Well, the only one that I'm looking through them, like I kind of can see, which is going back to what the Hannibal stuff is. I actually really like Red Dragon.
I like Manhunter better.
Yeah, Manhunter's a better film.
I know, but they're different series. Like Manhunter's like the same story, but it's not in the same canon.
Well, it wasn't always meant to be that way. It's
technically the first Hannibal Lecter movie, isn't it?
Yeah,
yes, it is. Yeah, with the guy from CSI.
Yeah.
And the fucking police chief from Super Troopers.
It was
Brian
intended
Cox
as a
playing
sequel.
Hannibal.
Yeah, like it was. They talked about it as a sequel at the time. I think that there was a decision made. Like, well, most people don't know Manhunter except for like weird film nerds. So we can like make a quick buck by hiring Brett Ratner to make this movie over again.
To eat shrimp with no pants on.
Fucking what?
Oh, that was one of the stories that I think Olivia Munn was it, or who is it? Which Olivia played Psylocke?
Olivia Munn, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
Olivia
she talked
Munn.
about Brett Ratner.
Yeah, she talked about him like either walking around with no pants or just naked eating shrimp in his trailer, among other things that he was a terrible creep about. Yeah. Just warm shrimp, no clothes on, just.
Dude, what's wrong with you? Like, fucking deranged?
You did watch X-Men Last Stand, right? You do know he was the director.
Yeah, but I don't get I get that he's incompetent from that movie, but I don't get that he's just fucking pants crapping nuts. Like,
I don't think he's nuts. He's just a creepy weirdo.
He's the one that like outed what's her name, right, on set.
Yeah. You were actually the one who told us that story. I hadn't realized that. Yeah. Shit. What's her face?
Yeah, he was saying
Ellen
something.
Page.
Yeah, he was like, because you're gay, right? And she was like, thanks, fuckface. Like,
yeah, he's the one that made Bryan Singer look okay for a second there. So yeah.
Yeah, notice we haven't heard anything about him. I wonder how deep the
well, it's because
he's
dead in a well somewhere. I think that's
wait, which one, Ratner or Singer?
Singer. Yeah.
The last I heard from Ratner was that Gal Gadot got his production company booted off the Wonder Woman sequel.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. Well, all future DC movies, basically.
Which is hysterical to me because I just love I love actors and it ties back to the Tom Holland thing. Actors taking agency over shit they love, and getting rid of toxic elements is fantastic. But
they can only do it when they have a Tom Holland or Gal Gadot, where they're they're the mega face of a franchise.
Yeah, I also love that Christopher Nolan is the first director ever outside to look at John Peters and go, he's not allowed on set.
Yeah.
Get that man away from this movie, or Christian Bale be fighting a giant mechanical spider by the end of the movie. Okay.
Cut to Man of Steel.
You actually now just reminded me to another story, which I think I would like to talk about, which is only because it's the man who talked about that, which is Kevin Smith is going to do Clerks 3.
We'll see.
Well, it's all been the whole, which everyone's kind of known, is that Jeff Anderson was the one holding it all back.
Yeah.
So it seems like he's on board.
Well, it wasn't just. So that's the thing that people are kind of conveniently forgetting. He did go to Weinstein at one point and be like, do you want to fund this? And I do remember it being yeah, no. Why would we do that?
I think Weinstein owns the rights to one, but not to the characters.
They don't. They don't own the rights to the characters, but they basically
they don't own two. He owns two.
Yes, he owns two.
Because I think Anderson's.
And what a bounty that is.
Yes, but I mean,
wow.
I like Clerks 2 a lot.
Yeah, Clerks 2
is money.
Clerks 2 is good. Yeah. I mean, I'm the person who's Kevin Smith's a better podcaster than he is a filmmaker, and even I'm Clerks 2 is fine.
I think Clerks 2 is way better than the first movie.
Well, Clerks the first one is Clerks the first one is 20-year-olds talking about life how they would as 20-year-olds. Clerks 2 is 30-year-olds doing that.
I'm Randall fucking slays me. Clerks 2. I think he's the reason I love that movie so much because he's such a goddamn riot the whole time.
I don't know. I enjoyed Kevin Smith for Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma to an extent.
Oh, really? I love Dogma.
And maybe I'm confusing Dogma with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
I think you might be.
But there's just a point where I was like, cool, oh no, and then the bottom dropped out, and I was just like, oh no.
See, here's the thing. When I finished Tusk for the first time, I was like,
oh, you actually watched it?
This isn't. Oh, I watched it twice because I couldn't. The first time I sat there with my mouth open the whole time, just there was drool, falling because I was just dumbfounded by what I was seeing. The second time, I was like, this isn't good, but I appreciate the fact that someone like Kevin Smith was like, yeah, let's just do the fucking weirdest thing we can think of and just go all the way home with it. That movie's trash. It's trash, and it's deplorable, shocking trash. But it's kind of this weird little it's this wonderful train wreck that I kind of love.
But Kevin Smith did, what was it, Red State? Wasn't it?
Yeah, before that.
And I heard Red State's fucking fantastic.
Red State's pretty good, yeah.
But
I really enjoyed it.
If he had stopped there, he would be on top 10 lists.
The thing is, he's talked about his mentality at the different times. He made Red State after the Southwest stuff, the Too Fat to Fly, where he was really angry.
Yeah.
And that was the same time during when there was the protest at Comic-Con. So it's Dogma, but with really biting at Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's he was very angry when he wrote that film.
But it also shows like he can step out of what's always been his comfort zone, because he's been a director that has a very predictable like cadence to his work.
I do get when he's commented and gotten shit for being like he was kind of Apatow before Apatow. Like I kind of get that. And I do think I like Zack and Mary. Like I think it's a fun movie. I think Cop Out could have been a good movie with somebody else as the star.
I think Cop Out was. I think Bruce Willis had as much to do with Cop Out as anybody else did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I feel like another person with Tracy Morgan would have made that movie much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Clerks 3, like I'll wait to hear what people I trust say about it, because Go ahead. I
was to say, like, I'm excited for Jay and Silent Bob Redux or whatever they're calling it, with Melissa Benoist and Val Kilmer doing BVS, like a goof on BVS.
That's so good.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be funny stuff in it. I've said it before. Like, he did hundreds of hours of I'm sorry, some of the best podcasting I've ever heard. Like, no joke, stuff that's better than anything else other people even were trying to do, just in terms of like the quality and honestly the storytelling and some of the jokes, like just genuinely some of the funniest stuff that I've ever heard. And like just the amount of humor and like joy per hour versus his entire film career.
I'm gonna throw his live specials in there too, because I think the original, like the Q&As and then Too Fat to, are like these amazing, like not quite stand-up comedy, but they end up kind of being stand-up comedy organically, like stage performances. Because Too Fat to Fly has an entire sequence where he's talking about getting stoned out of his fucking mind, locking himself in the bathroom, and convincing himself that he's taking the most violent shit in the world, and he just keeps screaming to his wife, "It's ropey, it's ropey." And then he gets out and he says there's just one tiny little pellet in the fucking toilet, and he gets up and his wife goes, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She goes, "You were in there for 2 hours and you just kept screaming, 'It's ropey, it's ropey.'"
Yeah, stuff like that. Like there's like him and his co-host, they go to some fucking crazy places. Like they did an entire bit where they were like, what if Batman's origin was his parents were killed by sharks? Shark Man.
Well, like I love like Batman.
Yes,
is like, especially the really early parts of it was like really interesting. Like,
yeah,
I do think I kind of like, all right, he had a heart attack, he almost died, and he wants to make the films that he started with and like finish that out.
Sure.
And
and I totally respect that and I appreciate it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I am a fan of Kevin Smith regardless of what his movie output is, because his early movies I loved when I was 20s, whatever. The comics that he's written, I've really enjoyed in the past, with the exception of the 2 Batman books he wrote that he never finished, thank God. And like dudes, like Arlen was saying, like his podcasting was great for a very long time. I listened to a lot of his stuff, and he was one of the first people to really monetize podcasting in a way. Like,
he had a network before networks were a thing,
and he also he directed some of the best episodes of The Flash. Like, and I'm like, as far as just good TV goes, not even because we covered it, but like The Runaway Dinosaur is an amazing episode of TV.
I mean,
that is like shockingly like emotionally resonant for, you know, being something on the CW.
Well, he was kind of like a second version of Stan Lee, and like being a geek and out and proud and pushing the genre, and all that thing.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I am totally a fan of the guy's personality. Maybe I'm not a fan of all of his work, but I am a fan of Kevin Smith in general. I will give him that.
Which
he's like the inverse Max Landis, where he's a piece of shit, but some of his work is pretty good.
See, I was going to transition to like, oh, and Kevin Smith's daughter's name is Harley Quinn. Oh, yeah. What about that Birds of Prey trailer?
I mean, well,
I think we can close on that because we're just like a little over 90 minutes, something like that. But like, okay, here's the thing. I was super down on that movie a couple months ago because I detest the way it looks. It looks fun. However, don't call it Birds of Prey and then proceed to then ignore the Birds of Prey. That really bothered me.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the trailer, and on an ideological level, that bothers me. Like,
they don't even get referenced. They are visually represented in ways that you couldn't possibly identify them. Like, there's one shot of someone with a crossbow.
Heavy reader.
Yeah, and
there's Mary Elizabeth Winstead is on a motorcycle.
Yeah, and there's a shot of someone singing in a lounge and a glass starts shaking. That's it.
Yeah.
There is no reference to the idea that they are Black Canary and Huntress.
We see a lot more of Rosie Perez as Montoya.
Yeah. Well, you want something that'll really infuriate you. The young Asian girl, Cassandra Cain, was the mute. Girl. Yeah, was the mute girl for the longest time.
Is in like stupid fucking hip hop goggles and like a hoodie and just talking the whole fucking time.
I don't remember the hip hop goggles, but yeah, she's in a hoodie. Yeah.
She looks like a bum.
Yeah, she was the Batgirl that her cow had no mouth. She's currently not spoiler. Orphan.
Maybe the hip hop goggles are probably just me inferring that everyone else is dressed like a fucking idiot in that movie.
Wait, this is the same Batgirl who was trained by what's her face, the most dangerous woman in the world,
Lady Shiva.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, in this she's a dumb teenager in distress.
So Black Canary has a cigarette in her ear. I'm looking at the trailer right now. And then Harley Quinn's cutting her hair. I like the voice. I have not seen Suicide Squad. I like the voice, but like, do we need this much Rosie Perez? Like, it's a lot of Rosie Perez. This is the second time
you said you haven't seen Suicide Squad. I don't understand this.
I'm in the same boat, Lou. I've never seen it. Yeah.
I like that there's hyenas.
Yeah, no.
The problem is
we're not just gonna steamroll over this. I'm sorry. I know you want to, but we're not just pretend that you didn't say you haven't seen Suicide Squad.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, same.
Here's the thing. It's kind of like it does have a BVS kind of like, what the fuck were you thinking kind of appeal.
I was going to say, you said BVS. You're not selling me on it.
But like, here's the thing. I still appreciate BVS because it's like the most like it is an ambitious fuck up. And Suicide Squad is kind of like it's a fuck up, but in the ways of like this was completely preventable. What made you make these decisions?
Why did you keep on going?
Why did you remember when
this was edited by a 9-year-old? Like what?
Yeah, Arlen, don't you remember when I messaged her? Should I watch Godzilla and Hellboy or Aquaman and Suicide Squad?
No, and I was like, he must be. That can't be true. There's no way he hasn't seen Suicide Squad yet, and he's deciding now is my moment to watch Suicide Squad.
Oh, I don't have time. I didn't have time.
But that trailer, like, I don't like how it like Harley Quinn's dressed like she's going to a rave, and I hate it. And they're like the visual representations of both Huntress and Black Canary is like they swig alcohol and they smoke cigars. Blah! Like it's definitely so they came from a fucking cigar swilling executive. Like, oh, they're tough broads. They gotta drink booze.
That's right. They need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just honestly, I don't really have an opinion one way or another on this. Like, I'm curious, but not in a like, oh, I'm curious because I want to see that, I'm curious to see how bad it is. I'm just curious.
As someone who's kind of like come in like, and honestly, it's Injustice 2 and a couple of the comic books. Oh, excuse me. Like, kind of turned me on to the idea of like, wow, Black Canary's fucking cool. And I really like her character, and I like her relationship with Ollie. And the Arrow has had some fucking swings and misses with the character, but now they've got fucking 3 or 4 of them walking around, so you can take your pick of the litter. But and then for me to go, cool, like in a really quick amount of time, like Black Canary and Huntress are going to be in a movie with Harley Quinn. That's nuts to me. And then the trailer comes out. I'm like, do you people know what these characters are supposed to be at all?
Okay, I think I just finished the trailer. I think they turned that Batgirl into what is the Asian character in Deadpool 2? The girlfriend, Megasonic's girlfriend. I think they're trying to do that.
I mean,
she's like hipster and cutesy.
Could
maybe.
be.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been excited for this movie for a while.
There's also a term. There's a term that was hanging over Suicide Squad that I feel in this movie. And it's gaudy. Why is this universe so fucking gaudy? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like everything is blinged out. Everyone's got fucking chains and gold plated, whatever the fuck, and purple Lamborghinis.
Well, if you look at the superheroes in their world and how they're dark and super grim, like. It would think the inverse for villains would be to as bright.
But it's not just the villains though, because like Black Canary looks gaudy, Harley looks gaudy, everything looks gaudy in this.
They're trying to be campy, but like edgy campy, and it's just coming off as like this gaudy grossness. Because it's not campy like Batman and Robin, where it's just like, oh my god, what the fuck are you doing?
It's the Jared Leto Joker problem. It's like, why are you over accessorizing this? Like, why is there so much going on with this one character idea?
Like, she still has 8 billion tattoos. Like, why?
Yeah, she has 8 billion tattoos. She's got like this weird fucking flamingo costume. It looks like it's like got 2 pom poms lit on fire attached to it or something. Or like, I don't know, there's hairs all over the fucking place and everyone's in some awful, ugly Easter color. Like, it's just too, like turn everything down. Jesus Christ.
And if you're going to have these other characters, it seems like from the trailer, no one's in a costume.
No one's in a costume and no one gets fucking named.
And Ewan McGregor as Black Mask is not wearing a mask at all.
Nope. And he's not even, he's not named either. He's just Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
well,
the subtitle of the movie is The Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. You should have just called it Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, if this is the route you're going.
Well, wasn't it originally supposed to be Gotham City Sirens? And they've changed the name like 5 times, right?
This was a Joker and Harley Quinn movie, and then it became a Harley Quinn movie, and then it became a Gotham Sirens movie, and then it became Birds of Prey.
They became 2 separate movies because the Joker and Harley Quinn movie is still coming, I guess. I don't know.
Ew.
Yeah,
no, I think Jared Leto's.
I think that movie's done. I think if that movie happens, they will recast Joker, and that's their place to sort of say.
Here's the thing. Like,
resetting.
There are production stills of Margot Robbie outside of. Okay, this is a bizarre sentence. I'm going to say outside of the Joker's house.
Yeah,
and she's like throwing shit at his windows, and like there is what is very clearly a Jared Leto stand-in as the Joker, like closing his blinds. Which, let's just digest that for a second. Joker has a house.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wanted some equity.
Joker has a house in the suburbs where his solution to someone causing a racket is to close his blinds.
Connor, have you not seen
grows up
the in-universe TV show where Harley and Joker, they renovate houses and then
it's on HGTV.
Oh, yeah, that's right. One of them is a performance artist, and one of them is a craftsman. Their budget is $2 million.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I pet geckos, and my husband is a stay-at-home astronaut. My budget is $5 billion.
My husband decorates oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of. So here's the thing. I've been into this movie for a while, and I've said this many times because I know Margot Robbie is producing it. And that's exciting enough on its own for me because I know she cares about this character in particular. And she was not so happy with a lot of the choices that were made about this character by other people in other movies. And she is basically going to be the protector of this character going forward.
Yeah, and that's kind of like that's the shred of optimism I'm getting it, where like Margot Robbie seemed to have like it's the same way Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins like grab the Wonder Woman franchise and like wrap their hands around. They're like
yeah.
My shred of hope for this Birds of Prey movie is that the the rumor of the story of it being there's a dick pic of Ewan McGregor's trapped inside a diamond. I hope that's true. Oh God, I hope
Something
that's
like
true.
that.
I remember it being about a dick pic and that he's like it's about him being gay and he's closeted. Wasn't that like
something like that? That was the rumored plot,
God,
which is curious to me because wasn't the original script for Suicide Squad 2 dropped because it was too close to the Birds of Prey script? I thought there was something along those lines.
I never knew that they actually got to a script phase pre-Gunn signing on board.
Okay, so was it just the storyline or the pitched story was too similar? I can't remember. There was supposed to be something that the writer for Suicide Squad 2, when Gunn came on, like they dropped him shortly after, and there was some sort of story about like, the story was too similar to the Birds of Prey storyline.
I mean, that sounds right. Again, they had multiple movies in production. They had a Suicide Squad 2, they had the Harley and Joker movie, they had a Harley Quinn solo movie, and they actually had a separate Birds of Prey movie, all in production at the same time. And yeah.
Man, they're ambitious.
Well, I mean, I think it's more like they're throwing all of this shit against the wall and seeing what's tacky enough to stay and what's diarrhea pouring down the side.
Yeah, it's buckshot basically. Yeah. They're not planning to hit everything.
Well, what's upsetting me about like the DC state is comics that have thrown together, but like even the animation has begun to suffer, which is where for a long time everyone's like, well, I think it's become it's become really noticeable in the last few years. Like once the Killing Joke came out, people were like, "What the fuck are you thinking?"
Well,
and then with the new Hush revelation, it's like you just went and changed a story for no reason, and you sucked the meaning out of it.
I say that, but I just finished the season of Young Justice they did, and it was fantastic.
Oh, that's a different story because I feel like Young Justice happened. Young Justice happened in spite of any problems at DC going on.
Because Young Justice covers so much. They freaking pulled what's her name? That random Bat character that was around for a minute that Snyder made, Harper Row. She's in the season of
Bluebird.
Yes, not as Bluebird though, but as Harper Row. They did a whole side plot with her.
I think the thing is too, Lou, is that the animated series are held to a different standard than the animated movies. Because the movies, they know they can just pump out and just be like, who cares? Here,
which is not what it didn't used to be that.
Yeah, because
this year,
Flashpoint Paradox, Justice League Doom,
all those Batman movies before,
all those Batman
Killing Joke and
exactly. All those movies are
Under the
great.
Red Hood was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Under the Red Hood is fantastic. But then you go to Suicide Squad Road to Hell and you're like, oh, what happened? What is wrong with Eobard's head?
We're not going down that one.
Yes, the first Arkham one is horrible too.
Yeah. They're just they just gave up at some point. It feels like. I don't know what happened, really. It's just
now that entire animated set, all those movies exist for me personally, just for fodder for the DC Universe Abridged channel to fucking rip apart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll go into them expecting them to be bad, and then I'll watch the Aquaman one and I'll be like, that's all right, I guess. That's fine. I can't watch that ever again without hearing the voice of Zoidberg come from that fucking lobster. So, thank you, DC Universe Abridged.
That was the saddest part of watching the season 3 of Young Justice is that there's one shot of Red Tornado in all of the
episodes. Oh man,
because they're just not. They don't work. He's just not part of the team.
I know, but here's the thing: the less I see of him in the Young Justice Abridged show, the more I appreciate him because when he comes in and just starts your volume is at a comfortable fucking room setting where it's everything's fine. And then Red Tornado comes in, just blows your fucking windows out.
Ignore me.
I hate you. Fuck this. I'm leaving. I think he shows up in the I think it's the Justice the Crisis on Two Earths abridged movie, and he just shows up for 2 seconds to fight one of the Evil League members. And all he says is, "You are in my personal space," and just blows someone away. That's it.
I do want to say what sucked in. I will be done after this. In Young Justice, it's the third animated version of the Judas contract. And I think it's the best version.
Wow.
And I don't ever want to see it again.
Okay, well, because they did it on Teen Titans the first time, and they did a movie, and here, right?
The movie is terrible. It's
like, I've heard that.
It's gross, which it is the comic book, so it's gross.
I don't know what the Judas contract is.
They actually have Deathstroke and Terra getting down on each other.
Almost. She is straight up in like sexy lingerie trying to hit on Deathstroke in the movie.
Gross.
I'm noticing a connection here between the Killing Joke and this.
Yes. Well, that was part of the comic book, is that she's like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
And then
there's a reason that you change things sometimes.
Yeah. Yes, which is what they did.
Like, yeah, like the Teen Titans, the way that they did it in Teen Titans, it worked. It emotionally worked, and across age ranges. I rewatched it pretty recently, and it still plays really well.
I remember my brother being 8. My brother was the biggest fucking Teen Titans fan I knew, and like he was the person whom I first heard talk about a character named Terra, because I wasn't into comic books at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking loved that show, and he was really upset when it ended. And then like I came later to find out that they did their own version of Judas Contract. And now I think that Titans will end up probably doing it too.
I mean, it looks like they will in some form.
Well, the problem is it's like it's the quote unquote most important story in like the Titans history.
Also, I don't want to spoil.
It's like Phoenix.
I don't want to spoil anything for Titans, but like, there's a really strange choice of a death in that show, and a strange choice of a race change for a pretty prominent new character in DC.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
You'll have to tell me off mic then.
Yeah, it's odd. I don't know. It's probably not a big deal. I may be overthinking it, but I don't know. I feel like for someone who is kind of as well received as they were, to just kind of to do them like that is weird. But anyway, I think we can wrap up.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah. What the fuck am I supposed to plug here? So Blockbuster Bombs come to an end for Movie Dumpster with the Green Lantern episode, which should be out soon. Recording is not as bad as we predicted as far as the audio distortions on someone's end goes. And Sean did his best to salvage it.
No idea who you're talking about.
I have no idea who is that. Who could possibly be that show?
Yeah.
And we just recorded an episode for a Disney Channel. I read it as a failed pilot. I was told I was wrong, and that it was simply an episode of the Disney Channel Presents of Mr. Boogedy. Who is
what?
Yeah, it's a 45-minute movie about the most ineffective ghost who's ever lived. He's beaten by a vacuum cleaner.
So it's Casper?
No, it's way worse. It's about a family.
You guys gonna watch Smart House next?
No, I think next is Demonic Toys.
Nice.
And then after that is, I can't remember what's after that, but then the final one we're doing for Halloween is Trick or Treat from 1986 that has cameos from Ozzy Osbourne and Gene Simmons.
Oh God, that movie
with Sammy Kerr. Yes, that movie. If you've ever watched Best of the Worst, they've covered it on there. I think it was a Mystery Science Theater episode, so now it's our turn to give it a go. Then we're going into November, and I think Sean has it in his head, and I'm on board with this. We're going to watch Terminator Salvation right when the new one comes out. So there's that, and then we're getting our holiday movies, our Christmas movies all set up. I've already settled on mine, and it's going to be Prancer from the 90s, which is not something I've seen since I was little, and I remember that reindeer being fucking scary. So, yeah, there's all that. Green Lantern should be out by the middle of, I think, this coming week. And we know that's not really blockbuster season anymore, but it was a lot of editing. So,
yeah.
A lot of editing across every episode, not just one episode.
Yeah. What are my plugs? If you want to hear me talk more about the Joker, I talked about it on Lost Hero podcast. That's why I didn't talk about it much earlier, because I said a lot there. But yeah, go listen to that episode, which I was supposed to put up hours ago, and I will do that after we do this. So listen to that, and yeah, I think that's all the stuff I got for you. So, yay!
I'm Erik Fedorchak. You can find me at Erik_Fedor on Instagram. There's pictures of dogs and cats and food and comics and other assorted things. Most recently, our Malamute celebrated her 1-year birthday, and you can watch a video of her eating a steak in about 6 seconds. Outside of that, I'm never watching Suicide Squad. You can't make me.
Oh, you say that now.
That's it.
Just wait till we have to do the Suicide Squad movie special.
I'll be dead by then. Let's be honest.
How's about this? What if I nominate it as a court case? Then we can do it whenever we want.
Like I said, I'll be dead by then. My time on this earth is limited.
Okay.
Suicide Squad is the death knell.
So Luke Gonzalez, you can check out the other shows on here. So Smallville will be back soon enough, and then Comic Show, where we've been covering Hoxpox. We have 1 issue left next week. And yeah, check out those shows. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe to everything, and tell a friend.
Smash that like button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Nightcrawler said, go forth and be fruitful. First rule of Mutant Nation. Get the fucking.
It's a weird thing for a Catholic to say.
I don't know.
I was about to say, is that a reference to an orgy? I wonder what you're talking about there.
Mm-hmm. It's him answering a question from his mom.
Oh.
Suddenly got very Fedorchak in here. Oh my god, what is that picture in the fucking chat room?
That is from the Judas Contract.
That looks like fan art. What the fuck is that?
It's so bad. Their slate design is the worst, by the way.
Can you please make that
slate design?
Can you please make that the episode art?
Yeah. I mean,
there's worse pictures from that movie.
That is shocking and hysterical.
It looks like it's trying to be really bad Aeon Flux.
What is happening with his mouth? Oh my god, end the episode.
He's doing a Hago.
It's such bad Aeon Flux. Anyways, bye everybody.
Bye.
Adios.